finally, what we all have been waiting for and calling for and questioning why it wasn't happening. Stephanie White has stepped up to the plate in defense of Caitlin Clark. I could not believe my ears, guys. I could not believe my ears when I heard this. Stephanie White actually being bold enough to stand on business and protect Caitlin Clark.
Shockwaves across the WNBA tonight. A veteran coach just dropped a bombshell defending the league's brightest star, and the words she used could rewrite the narrative around Caitlin Clark's future. Did the league just push its prized rookie too far? Stay with us. We'll show you the moment that started it all, the fallout, and the danger now facing the WNBA.
And it is Stephanie White talking about Caitlin Clark being brought up in a lot of these conversations in CBA by other people, and not her speaking herself. And I think this is a really interesting one. And it's clear from this answer, I've already listened to this, it's very clear from this answer that Stephanie White clearly, and Caitlin Clark, there's clearly a level of person, like, they clearly really like each other as people.
This isn't gossip. Caitlin Clark is the single most powerful growth engine the WNBA has seen in decades. Her return drives record TV ratings, sold-out arenas, and sponsor dollars. If she's hurt, burned out, or pushed out by league politics, the consequences go far beyond one team.
Saying what it is, these people are using Caitlin Clark, they're disrespecting, and
on date of interview, Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White sat down and said something that cut straight to the heart of the controversy. I hate it all for Caitlin. She's a 23-year-old kid who loves to play this game, and she's a pawn in a lot of other people's games. Those words landed like a grenade.
Then Caitlin Clark kind of getting brought into that, Caitlin Clark responding to it. What has been your overall assessment of that dialogue and as it relates to your star player?
Yeah, I mean, I hate it all for Caitlin. I feel like, she's a 23-year-old kid who loves to play this game, who is a pawn in a lot of other people's games and a lot of other people's narratives, and I hate that for her. We're coming into a time in the WNBA where we're kind of part of the growing pains of becoming quote unquote mainstream professional sport is some of this stuff.
White didn't speak in isolation. Voices across the game, including Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo, have raised the alarm about officiating, protection, and how the league handles its stars. Lobo called Clark very difficult to officiate because of constant contact and game contexts, and urged attention to referee consistency.
I do think that we are at a pivotal moment in terms of the league's history. And look, I was a part of the very first collective bargaining agreement of the WNBA, where we wanted insurance all year long, to now where it is growing and players do deserve more. And leadership needs to reflect where we are as a league, and also understand where we are as a league and where players' perspectives are coming from. And, we have coaches on the sidelines, and Becky Hammond and myself, and of course Noah Quinn, who was in Seattle, who played in this league.
Everything boiled over in the Fever Liberty matchup. Hard fouls, dramatic physical plays, and moments that fans said should have triggered ejections, but didn't. Viewership spiked, peaking at 2.8 M during Clark's electric stretch, yet the optics of missed enforcement brought more attention to the wrong things. Stephanie White has officially said what millions of WNBA fans have been thinking. Caitlin Clark is being used by everyone. She's watched Caitlin take brutal hits all season, both physically on the court and verbally off it, and somehow the rookie never snaps. But White made it clear, number 23-year-old should be carrying the political and financial weight of an entire league. When she called Caitlin a pawn, she wasn't exaggerating. The WNBA uses Clark to sell tickets, players use her name to fight for better pay, and the media milks every story for clicks, all while the league's leadership stays silent. The fans see it, and they're tired of it. White, who's been part of the WNBA since its earliest days, knows how far things have come, from fighting for basic health care to now fighting for respect. But according to her, the people running the league are completely stuck in the past. Without naming names, she aimed straight at Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, whose tone-deaf comments and poor communication have made her one of the most criticized figures in women's sports. White's message: get your act together.
And she's right.
From awful officiating to inconsistent fines, the WNBA keeps tripping over its own success. Even veteran stars like Nafisa Collier, Sophie Cunningham, and Becky Hammon have blasted Engelbert's leadership, calling it delusional and disconnected. White joined that chorus, calmly but powerfully, and reminded everyone that the players are the league. Without them, there is no product. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark remains silent, choosing professionalism over drama, even as her name gets dragged into every controversy. That silence speaks volumes. White's frustration comes from a place of protection. She knows Clark never asked to be the face of the WNBA. The league handed her that title because she brought record ratings, full arenas, and millions of new fans. But now, when things go wrong, she's the scapegoat. White's message was crystal clear: stop using Caitlin Clark as your shield. If you're mad at leadership, say so. If you're unhappy with contracts, deal with it. But stop hiding behind the league's golden ticket. The sad truth? It probably won't stop, because Caitlin means money. The league keeps pushing her image in every promo, every broadcast, and every highlight, but the second she gets too much credit, they panic. It's the same jealousy that followed Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Serena Williams when they changed their sports. Caitlin Clark is doing the same thing, and instead of celebrating her, the WNBA keeps tripping over its ego. White even admitted these are growing pains, but warned that if leadership doesn't evolve, those cracks will become fractures. The NBA and NFL went through similar turmoil, but they had strong leaders who learned from mistakes. The WNBA doesn't seem to have that right now. Kathy Engelbert keeps pretending she's the reason for the league's growth, but fans know the truth. The explosion happened because of Caitlin Clark. People aren't tuning in for press conferences. They're tuning in for her. Yet instead of protecting her, the league's leadership hides behind PR statements and fake apologies. That's what White called out: fake leadership. True leadership stands up for players when they're targeted, not just when it's convenient for the cameras. Players like Cunningham and Collier are furious because they see the business side overpowering the basketball side. Decisions made for optics, not for the game. Stephanie White's calm truth bomb hit harder than any viral rant. She's seen the WNBA nearly collapse and now watched it explode into mainstream relevance. She isn't anti-league, she's anti-nonsense. And when she says Caitlin Clark is being used, it's because everyone is cashing in on her success while pretending they're not. The league wants all the fame of the NBA, but still operates like a college program. Underpaid players, commercial flights, and punishment for speaking out. It's embarrassing. Caitlin Clark didn't ask to be the savior of the WNBA, but the league made her one, and now she's paying the price for their dysfunction. White's warning couldn't be more clear. If the WNBA keeps treating its biggest star like a marketing tool instead of a human being, it's not just Caitlin Clark who will walk away. It'll be the fans, too. Why pawn? White says it's simple. Everybody, players, agents, the media, and even parts of the front office, lock onto Clark to push a narrative. Whether it's CBA leverage, ratings, or PR, Caitlin's name is pulled into debates she didn't start. That dynamic puts a crushing weight on a 23-year-old. Current players have started to publicly and privately react. Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, and other voices have weighed in on league fairness, officiating, and leadership. Some defend Clark. Others admit the league is in turbulent transition. Those locker room tensions can fracture chemistry fast. White's comments became a call for new leadership. Leadership needs to reflect where we are as a league, she said, effectively arguing that the people running the WNBA are out of step with the players who built this boom. The implication? Replace or reform decision-makers who don't understand modern WNBA dynamics. This issue isn't just internal. Sponsors, broadcast partners, and advertisers notice when the story is controversy rather than celebration. The 2025 postseason was record-setting, but headlines about treatment and politics can scare partners away if the league can't show it protects players and values integrity. Listen closely. White asked for respect and for leaders who understand the modern game. She urged former players and basketball minds be more involved in decision-making, not PR managers who reduce players to talking points. That's a direct blueprint for reform. Caitlin herself has been quiet and measured, by design or strategy. She's handled hits on the court and heat off it. But there's only so much a single player can absorb. White's defense is not just about one moment. It's about the accumulated cost of asking one young star to carry the league's burdens. Rebecca Lobo, Stephanie White, and other insiders just lit a fuse. This story isn't about clicks. It's about the future of a growing professional sport. Will the WNBA adapt, reform, and protect the players who made it popular? Or will politics and bad leadership undercut its rise? The next moves matter.